Hey, welcome to Pop Trigger. Brett and Amir, first time ever.
Kind of cool.
How's it feel?
It's a little weird, it's cool though.
Yeah,
okay.
Just like my first time.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about sex in a different video. But first, you like to cook.
I love to cook.
What do you cook when you cook?
Everything.
Yeah.
I started out like easy, like pizza. And then from there, just started anything I can. Whenever I go out to like a restaurant, for instance, I like to make those things.
You'll go and say like, I like this menu item's awesome. Like what was the latest thing that you saw at a restaurant?
The latest thing that I made from a restaurant that I really liked is a fried chicken sandwich.
Yes.
From this restaurant called R&D Kitchen.
Yeah,
where I
Santa
live.
Monica.
Yeah. And what really makes that chicken sandwich is the coleslaw.
Yes.
So like I've been having that over and over to like figure out like what's in that coleslaw. And I figured it out and it's amazing. Now I can make it at home.
What's the secret?
I think the secret in it was the Savoy cabbages.
Okay.
And apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
Those are the two key points. Everything else is basically coleslaw.
So we're gonna talk about what makes a good cook. But first I want to say that my brother's fiance is a chef, like an award-winning chef.
A bona fide chef.
Like a bona fide, like she's been in Bon Appetit, like it's legit. And so we went to her house for dinner, and my brother he's a good cook too, though not as well awarded. But she just like sits there and like has like 4 ingredients and just kind of starts doing this on her little mandolin.
It's so cool.
And I'm like, I don't even know what that's gonna be. But she made this coleslaw because he was making chicken piquant, which is like the spicy Louisiana chicken. And I just tried this stuff and I was like, I watched you do that.
It was 4 ingredients.
It was 4 things. And that's like her thing, is she just puts few things together. And I was just like, I've never had anything so good. And it's so simple, and that's the thing about it, is you just.
What do you think made it so good? Have you put those 4 ingredients ever together yourself?
No, I don't know what they were, but it was like salt and pepper. So she does some of these things, which we're gonna talk about. So this is from Tasting Table. I saw an article where they said, here are 9 things all great cooks do in the kitchen. We're gonna go through them and then I'm gonna ask you each time, do you, for example, 1, keep your knives sharp?
100%.
So you sharpen them?
Yes, I sharpen them at least twice a week. And like I've invested a lot into good knives. Like it's kind of like people would never think like to spend $300 on a set of knives.
Yeah, I'm one of the people that wouldn't do that.
Yeah, Wusthof knives, like it makes all the difference in the world.
And it just slices right through stuff.
Crazy how easy it slices. Like paper thin tomato slices if you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how often do you sharpen them?
Like I said, like probably twice a week. Sometimes once, yeah.
We have this, I don't know if you've heard of this kind of chef, kind of lesser known, Rachel Ray knives that you can get at the clearance area of like a Nordstrom's. And what I like about these knives is the way they rust so fast. Instantly kind of turn to a powder almost. And then you're like, am I gonna get tetanus?
Yeah.
Literally today, tetanus shot.
Yeah, well the trick to that is you have to clean your knives as soon as you're done using them.
Right, so
don't leave them in the sink.
This guy's a pro. It says never put knives in the dishwasher.
Oh, that's a, huge.
Dry them immediately after washing. Or they'll, I went to Bed Bath & Beyond to get a knife present for my fiance, and because she had a knife that was just terrible. And it only cut because it was serrated. So I went to the woman and said, what's a good knife that's not like crazy expensive? She's like, this is Bed Bath & Beyond, they're not that expensive. And she gave us one, it was like a Victorinox one. And she's like, listen, the reason that your knife is rusting has very little to do with knives. You just have to, when you're done, wash it, dry it, put it away.
Yep.
We went to, in Tokyo, there's the Tsukiji fish market. The guy was making knives there and they were so sharp and so awesome.
Some of the best knives come from Japan, if not the best.
So good. Here's the thing, do you salt and taste while you're cooking?
Yes, and I actually discovered or learned something new recently. I mean, you asked about salt. Salt is super important. You should put probably more salt than you think you should in most food. It'll just make it taste better. Avoid the pepper though.
Really?
Pepper is used to mask flavor, and historically, black ground pepper has been used because it has disinfectant properties.
Really?
So like back when we didn't have all these things, we would put pepper on it and it would actually help to disinfect things.
Huh. I did not know that.
And again, like if you're trying to mask any flavors that aren't very good, you put pepper on it. Otherwise, avoid it because you're not helping your dish.
Here's a caveat for that. Cacio pepe. Do you know what cacio pepe is? Yeah, he knows because he obviously knows way more about this than I do. It's like real macaroni and cheese.
So good.
Like it is the kind of cacio is a kind of pasta, but cacio pepe is like that and pepper, and it's a cheese sauce, and the pepper goes on, and the pepper with the cheese is just the best thing. Yeah, that is the one time when I'm like, pepper in this is what I'm tasting. It's a featured flavor. It's not something that you just kind of mindlessly add after you add the salt.
Yeah. The little chunks of pepper in it, it's so good. Yeah.
My fiance, she eats raw hamburger meat. We were vegan for one video.
Just kidding when she kept saying that, but it's real.
No, we were vegan for one video. She did a video that like Tosh.0 called to license it because it was her eating raw meat. And if you want to see it, I did a viral video, film school video about eating raw food. And she eats a steak in it, like a raw steak.
Okay, steak is fine. Why the ground beef though?
Her dad, when she was growing up, would just like, they'd go and he just kind of would be like, all right, the kids need to eat now. And so he'd take bread, raw ground beef.
He wouldn't cook the beef.
No, it's really dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Shouldn't do that in Florida, but Publix is such a great place. They'll take care of you. Publix will take care of you. Yeah. They won't sell you the bad stuff. And so they would just eat that. And so, you know, I think much like if you feed a dog raw meat the whole time, my fiance also has, you know, spent her whole life.
I had family friends that would eat raw meat all the time because like Persians, like we like to cook on the grill a lot, and like some of the men that would come, we'd stand around, they would just like eat it before we even put it on the grill.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, why are you doing this?
She cuts the fat off her steaks and then eats. And I don't know if you've seen the video where Bree tells me how to be vegan. Already off that.
Good.
Already off vegan.
Proud of you.
Probably 72 hours. And that's it. We looked at each other after eating vegetables last night and just were like, this is not living.
No, it's so unfulfilling.
Yeah.
I think it takes like a good 3 weeks before your brain and stomach finally get used to it. And that's the hardest 3 weeks of your life.
So bad. But since she eats the raw meat, she tastes, when she makes hamburgers, she seasons it.
Yeah.
So her hamburgers are like the best hamburgers I've ever had because unlike others who are afraid or wise, depending on how you classify that, she knows how it tastes as she's making the.
Well, she hasn't gotten sick, has she?
She got sick once from yummy.com.
So it wasn't from the raw meat?
No, not from, it was a steak that she bought.
That's amazing.
All right, keep a clean workspace.
Super important.
They're really easy, and then there's another way to do that. These kind of go hand in hand. Have an extra bowl just for scraps.
Changed my life when I realized that like I should be doing this.
Yeah, and when I watched Jess do it, my brother's fiance, she'll just like just having it there, and I'm like, oh, what's that for? What are you making with that? She's like, oh, this is just so it's not kind of lying all around.
Yeah,
it's so good and so smart and so easy to do as you're cooking. I also have one of those chopping things with a little drawer that comes out the side that I can put it in if I need to.
If you like, going back to the cleaning thing, if you ever watch like any of these chef shows or if you've ever been in a kitchen, it's kind of crazy how all the chefs and everything, they are scrubbing the shit out of that kitchen. They need to keep it spotless, especially like those Michelin star restaurants.
Yep, and they do it. And and a big trend now is to have the kind of kitchen you can look into.
Yeah. So that's even more important.
So you can see it, but then you can also watch how crazy they are about cleaning stuff afterwards.
It's fascinating.
Also at Benihana, they go like this on the table when you're done. Always salt your pasta water. For those of you who eat pasta, a well-seasoned bowl of pasta starts in the pot. It says salt your water so it tastes like broth. Some people say it should taste like seawater. I've seen on The Chew, which is my favorite show. Know when to use extra virgin olive oil. These seem like pasta, but also.
This is actually one thing that really annoys me because you still see these mistakes being made about just use olive oil to cook. Put a little olive oil on a pan and heat it up. Like, dude, you don't use olive oil. First of all, you should never heat up olive oil. I still do it sometimes because whatever, but olive oil is actually made to add at the end of your dish so you can taste the olive oil. You're supposed to use like grapeseed oil, sunflower seed oil. Peanut oil is really good for deep frying. That has the highest like cooking. Yeah.
Walnut oil I had recently.
How was that?
Just put some walnut oil on something and it was really good. I forget what it was. It was great. It was great. And then, yeah, this says, sorry to burst your bubble. You should not be using extra virgin olive oil for cooking and sauteing.
It's true.
So brilliant. You know everything.
Most recipes, they still say olive oil. It's like, I don't know why.
I use it on my steaks.
Yeah, you can do it on your steaks because it adds a flavor to it, yeah.
Right, okay, repurpose bones and vegetable scraps to make stock. This is amazing. I was sick the other day and she made me, boiled a chicken to make chicken noodle soup and made chicken noodle soup from scratch using stock that she made out of bones. And then a lot of, yeah, Jess, I checked this with Jess. She always has this stuff. My brother does it too. They just keep the bones. They're like, I'm gonna take that with me because I'm gonna make a broth out of it.
I've done that, but I don't do it as a habit. It's really good though. Like you look like a ramen guy. That's all delicious bone broth.
We'll do a ramen video after this. All right, toast your spices. Look at that. Sophie got like we'll do that ramen video.
I know. She's so down.
Toast your spices. If you haven't been toasting your spices before adding them to your dishes, you're missing out on some serious flavor.
I don't do this.
As Emerald Lagasse explains, toasting spices in a hot pan will wake up their flavor. You can heat up both whole and ground spices, but keep an eye on them because they burn easily. We just fixed people.
We did. So do you cook often?
I don't cook a lot.
In your house, but like your fiance?
I'm the griller. I will be the one who's like, all right, we're gonna, or I'll do the steaks. The things I do well are like, I can do the perfect pan roasted chicken thigh so that it's crispy. And then I use a recipe when I'm making chicken a lot. It's a recipe I learned from this company called Project Angel Food. My first job in Hollywood, I worked at a talent agency and they made all their new hires go do public service like for a week. And they gave us out to this Project Angel Food place, which cooks meals for people who are sick and can't cook for themselves and just need it brought in. And then you go deliver them. But Alfie, this chef, he's like, you'll like this. And it's oil, it's for marinade. It's like oil, balsamic, and then you do Dijon and like a bunch of cool herbs and salt and pepper and a lot of lemon. And it's freaking good.
One thing that has changed a lot of the way I cook is get your fresh herbs and make sure like they're good fresh herbs. It makes all the difference in the world versus like using the dry ones that you get from the store.
Yeah, and someone said, there was a list online that said like, here are things that if you're from California, you'll totally understand this, which is the first time you found out that like vegetables came in seasons. Yeah. It's like, we just always had everything in California.
I grew up in Michigan and you could always get everything, but like they don't taste as good.
Yeah.
We're really lucky to live in California, actually. We have the best produce.
You're damn right we do. What do you guys think? Do you have any tips for cooking? Let us know, and maybe we'll make another video about it.
Send us pictures of your food and we'll rate it like Ramsay Gordon.
Fantastic, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon.
Wrong! How dare you get his name wrong? Said his name backwards, idiot.
Was dyslexic.